Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and it is.
Who's
I,
that?
I
Hi, Mercury's getting ready to retrograde.
I
Let's do
I
it
was
this
gonna
way.
say I didn't know whether to say it's Miss Astrology Day or it's as she would like to say call herself, which I think is her OnlyFans page, Ms. Aprylete Day. But
It's
nonetheless,
both of
hello,
us.
hello, ladies. How are you?
Hi, doing well.
Hey, Miss
Good.
Astrology. I haven't seen you in forever on a
I know
Thursday.
you
It's
haven't been
like
here. I was hoping to catch you for Pisces
for
season, but you
Pisces
got
season.
away.
I know, so just
Uh-huh.
And when
listen.
she realized that she missed Pisces season discussion, she was pretty bummed. I was like,
I
well.
definitely
I asked for
did.
you.
Send
I
me,
did. I was like, where's Aprilette? It's Pisces season. We definitely need to talk to her. You were on the road, I think.
man. Yes, that sounds about right. But it's good to see
Mhm.
your beautiful face today.
Thank
So
you. I'm glad to be here.
We
Happy
are
spring.
just in our second full day of spring.
Yes.
Yesterday was the first full day. Are you all enjoying the season so far?
No.
I didn't even realize that it was spring because
It's
it
been
doesn't feel
raining. It
like
hasn't, right. It hasn't felt like it yet.
And spring came in at a strange time. First of all, it came in on the 19th at
Hmm.
10 o'clock at
At
night.
night, late at night. It sure
Yeah,
did. The
yeah.
sun moved into Aries and it made it officially spring. So, not quite yet. I think it's going to be a different spring than what we're expecting to feel. If we remember, if you guys been paying attention, I told us actually New Year was go time this year.
Hmm.
So, spring right now, we're about to have a Mercury retrograde and eclipse season.
Ooh,
It's not go time. So,
ooh.
even if you may feel it a little bit, hold on. Just wait.
So my friends and I did the solar eclipse a few years ago. It was on my birthday, as a matter of fact, and now it's coming up on April 8th, and so we're all going to get together. But all of these stories about the electric grids going out, and people
Yeah.
are very concerned about their power and what's going to happen. I think planes are going to ground
I'm a little
until the.
concerned about this one also
Why
because
is that?
not only that, because when you saw what was that 2018, I think
Hmm.
17, 18,
Hmm.
it's coming back now. So
Oh.
now where it's going to hit is X marks the spot. So the eclipse is coming back around and it's going to be at that exact same point in the US.
Hmm.
In that way, in fully visible, hitting that spot again. So I think it's going to be really impactful as well, and there's going to be a lot going on. So yeah, we'll see. But that we have one in the on the 25th,
Hmm.
but that's a lunar one. That's a little bit
Right.
different. But the one on the 8th, on April the 8th, is going to be more of a big deal. And Mercury will be retrograde at that time. I think we should all do the best that we can to, yeah, stay grounded, stay calm, maybe stay indoors, even just kind of, during that time. And it's around 2 in the afternoon. So maybe
Hmm.
just the afternoon of that Monday, just kind of chill and relax and just see what kind
How
of
are we
comes
gonna
up.
see the eclipse if we're inside?
Let's not see this one. Did you miss
Wow.
the one in Libra season? I got to go to NASA for the
Oh, that's
one
awesome.
in Libra season or
Oh,
in
wow.
September. And they had a whole big old thing, and it was just they had a choir and music. You could tour the entire facility. They
Mhm.
had the glasses. It was really, really cool. And on the ground, from the leaves, like the eclipse, you could see like little eclipse shadows.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you couldn't, I mean, you had to have the glasses to see, but you could see like the little shadows. It was really cool. It was a great experience. But this one's different because it's, like I said, it's coming back and it's hitting that exact mark where it did in 2018. So
Mhm.
now it's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to be here for the rewind of that one.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Well, it was pretty phenomenal. We went to Wyoming, which was
Nice.
the part of the country where it was supposed to be a
Hmm.
full eclipse,
It's visible
and
path.
and, and
Mhm.
we got the full eclipse, and it was pretty phenomenal. I don't remember doing that even as a kid when we had solar
Right.
eclipse, but this was pretty phenomenal. A
But it
great way
doesn't
to.
happen very often like
Right,
that. That's
right,
why. And the
yeah.
fact that it's actually coming back to that exact same spot here in the US
Hmm.
is what is really going to intensify it for us. So I'm excited to see like what between now and November
Yeah, yeah.
holds for us because it's getting really, really interesting.
And November is going to be an important month. The first week of
Absolutely.
November, especially the presidential election is
Yeah.
November 5th, and so it's going to be interesting. But we'll talk
We'll
about
get
that
to
as we go forward. But I'm gonna be what I'm, ordered the glasses and everything,
Oh,
did
wow.
all of that. Yeah, we did that last time. It was pretty geeky, and but it was exceptional to see that.
Well, then, Sybil, would I say this then? Like maybe just a small group of you guys, like
Mhm.
not a large group, not a
Right.
large crowd, because we also want to remember it's in Aries, which is a fighter of a sign. It's the
Mm,
warrior or the professional athlete, somebody that uses their body and uses force. So it's
mhm,
a forceful sign. Its key word is I am. So it could be selfish. So it's like you just kind of want to be with people that you know, you love, and you trust. You don't want to be in big groups right now. When I went to it in Libra season, that was
mhm.
all about big groups. That was all
Right,
about like socializing and hanging out and the music and the beautiful day. But Aries is like, I ain't nothing like Libra.
right.
Don't mess with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted, huh?
That's
Yeah, don't get it
intense.
twisted. They're very opposite signs.
That's
Mhm.
really interesting. Well, I hope that you will take heed to what Miss Astrology
Please
is
and thank
telling
you.
us, and yeah,
Mhm.
and if you are of a mind to do it, keep in mind small groups, and protect your eyes,
Absolutely.
by all
Don't,
means,
don't
by all
ruin
means,
the
yeah,
eclipse.
yeah. And don't be like, some people are like, oh, I don't
Right.
care, and
Don't be like, yeah, not everybody that leads should always be followed.
right, right.
So don't do what everybody does.
That's right. That's right. As your mama said, you can't do what everybody
Everybody
else
does.
do.
That's right.
um, so let's talk about this. Aprylete, you are our mental health and wellness contributor to the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter in which we seek to super serve and to inform and empower the African American community with the stories. And it's very important that we talk about our mental health and wellness on a regular basis. Now, you covered a story in today's newsletter, which it was unusual, but
Yeah.
it was also reflective of the times, and a politician in the suburb of Chicago who's made quite a notorious name for herself. Not always for the good, as I say, notorious, but there is a need for mental health, a proposal, a tax proposal in
Mhm.
Illinois, and this particular politician who may not have, and this is a very subjective editorial commentary. She may not have the best interest of the mentally ill at heart, but she was involved in this proposal for a mental health care tax, right?
Yes, she was. And the tax would just offer more service to the south suburban area of Illinois, which is Thornton Township. And so this proposal would have just add about $42 to a home that's $100,000 a year. So not too much of a
Yeah,
significant
but
tax.
we're overtaxed already.
Definitely, definitely, definitely on everything that we do.
Mm,
But $42, not too much. When it comes to mental health services, I would have definitely voted
right.
yes.
Yeah.
But this right here is under scrutiny because of the person attached to the proposal, which is
Mhm.
Tiffany Haynard. So she has been under investigation for some months now with just unexplained spending, first class meals, and her hairstylist she paid about $7,000 to in a month, and luxury travels, and this and this and this and that. So 11 out of 17 mayors from other townships and the areas surrounding areas, they voted no on the proposal, so it cannot move forward. So with that being said, they pretty much just said that they don't trust her with the funds.
Mhm.
And she's came out and said that she's under attack. She's a single black woman. She's fighting against the devil, and people are pretty much having just unjust biases against her. But like I
Mhm.
said, she's been under investigation for a while. So there's been records or certain things that she has been doing. Again, it's very subjective. And then so there's one thing that they said, like self-promotion and things like that, that she's been doing a lot, and just being really out in the news and calling out people, and just kind of being wayward with the way that she speaks to others in like the politician world and just the media and things like that. So she has like a lot, kind of like a bad rep at this.
Mhm.
So yeah, so with that being said, this proposal has been ixnayed. And for me, it's a point where mental health services are needed across the board, but
Mhm.
especially in South suburban areas, like it's just needed.
And
So
it's those are in a lot of those suburban areas, and you think of suburbs, but these are predominantly black suburbs, and so
yes,
you think about the services that are needed for people in that, and having grown up on the south side of Chicago, and seen how a lot of these people are not getting what they
Mhm.
should be getting, and especially when you think about normally what suburban townships and what have you will offer to their residents and the people in her township. And there's a lot of discussion because she's not double dipping, but she is paid for two positions. And
Mm.
so a lot of this money that she is charging off to the city or to another part of the city or the county, she really should be coming out of her pocket. And so she is taking a lot of the focus off the needs of the people,
Yeah.
and putting it the attention where it doesn't need to be on her, and it's not a pretty situation, and you want to see the people getting the things that they need, and especially those that are
Absolutely.
suffering from mental health illnesses.
Absolutely. And I wonder if it would have went a different way if there was an actual um I guess like plan. You know, if she kind of came up with the money would be used for X, Y, and Z because it would have been nearly $3 million at the end of the year.
Wow.
So it's just like,
Right.
what is the plan with this $3 million? Who are you guys are going to be funding and things like that? So maybe that might would have changed the votes, but I'm not really for sure exactly how that works when you have proposals. If you have to have a plan for the money.
Yeah, and there is a serious question: is how can we be sure that the money is going to go to the people who really
That
need
is
it?
true. That
You
is
know,
true.
so. Good job. And Cameron had done an earlier story about Tiffany Henyard, and we're asking him and now you to keep an eye on this, and you through the mental health angle, and him through the political angle,
Mhm.
because this story is not over, and her future, and what this is going, what it's going to look like for her, um, because there are investigations made by federal and local agencies into her spending habits, and how it is, you know she is I don't think there's a reason that you should not be able to play the black card, especially if it's legitimate. Like if you're a certain DA, and the way people are treating you. But in this case, she's I'm single, I'm black, I'm a single mama, and I get beat up every time. Well, you've done some things that are questionable, and so and that's why your feet have to be held to the fire to make sure that the people that you call yourself advocating for are answered,
No,
and that
that is
they
true.
get the treatment, and the money goes to them. And when you think about it, $42 for every $100,000 on a house, that's not a lot, especially in a lot of those southern suburbs.
Mhm.
Those houses may be uh, 50 to $75,000 in value, and I'm not saying every south suburb, but
Mhm.
a lot of them are not they're not valued very highly. So, but those are the kinds of stories we talk about in the What You Need to Know newsletter. We'd love to have you subscribe. And of course, once a month, Ms. Astrology visits us and gives us an outlook
Yay.
on the season, and talks about what does Aries season mean, and what did Aprylete miss in Pisces season. But take a look at it. As I said, it's absolutely free. Please go to SybilWilkes.com, give us your name and your email address, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. And then, of course, join us to talk about it every Monday through Thursday here on It's Sybil. And amongst the other things that we talked about in the newsletter, um, Coy Malone is our social justice contributor, and a startling statistic. Black women are 6 times more likely to be murdered than white women. Happy Thursday to you.
Oh
And
my God.
but that is that's the reality, and it's based upon a study by the Lancet Medical Journal, analyzed the homicide rates of Black women ages 25 to 44 across 30 states
Mm.
between 1999 and 2020, and found, as I said, Black women are 6 times more likely to be killed than their white counterparts. However, we don't hear those stories because the major media, as opposed to the minority media, don't report those murders.
Mhm.
Everybody knows or has heard the name Lincoln Riley.
Mhm.
Everyone knows this is a
Yep.
young woman, a nursing student in Georgia, and I'm not taking away from the horror of her murder. But the fact is, when you have the president quoting her at the insistence of a white woman in the House of Representatives, then you know the disparities there
Yeah.
in terms of the reporting of Black women. That's why we have to say her name. That's why we talk about Breonna Taylor. That's why we
Yeah.
talk about these other Black women who have been killed unjustly. But this is a situation that needs to be addressed, and Coy does a really good job of that, as well as Cameron Riley talking about the fact that our dollar stores are closing up, and Family Dollar is closing a number of their stores, 1,000 stores nationwide. So
Wow.
take a look at that story. And I also give you a look at a strong Black woman who is holding Donald Trump's feet to the fire. And if he doesn't come up with $464 million by Monday, she's going to get a hold of his properties, including Trump Tower, perhaps
Yeah.
Mar-a-Lago, perhaps his golf clubs, and perhaps even the keys to the Trump plane, in order to put all of these properties together to come up with the $465 million he owes to the state of New York. So
Ooh.
we talk about that, and I know we talk about Donald Trump a lot, but this is I like lifting up Letitia James as well, because I think she's just done an incredible job. So please go to SybilWilkes.com and give us your name and your email address. We'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday. I know I'm repeating, but when you get the newsletter, please open it. We would appreciate that as well. And then join us for the conversation. And today we are talking with our monthly sister in astrology, and that is Miss Astrology. And it is Aries season. And
Yay!
so, what are we looking forward to? And who are some of the famous Aries
Very
people that we may know?
well. This is the real new year. This is the new
This is the
season, the
beginning.
spring. This is the new year. Spring is the new year. So all that got changed a long time ago with the Gregorian calendar. But spring is the new year, and so it's a new season. It's new cycles. However, this one's different, and I think that's one thing. This is why I love astrology, because it doesn't bring the same thing every time. These planets move at such different paces that every year this is a new cycle in a lot of ways. Well, this Aries season, even though it's spring and it's a new year, it's not necessarily go time. If anybody's been listening to me, I've been on this show every month for almost 2 years now.
Yep.
And I said this year, go time was actually January 1st. This new year, per the calendar, was actually a really good time to take action. That all those first 3 months. Now we're here at the end of March. Not only, yes, it's spring and it's Aries season and we're ready to go, but we're about to get our first Mercury retrograde of 2024.
Woo.
Not before we start eclipse season, though. So we have eclipses, we have a Mercury retrograde. Let's just see what happens. It's basically
specifically, when does Mercury go into retrograde?
April 1st, on good old April Fool's Day.
Okay.
So we have our first eclipse on the 25th. And so this is a full moon eclipse. And this is going to be most impactful for people that are either an Aries, a Libra, a Capricorn, or a Cancer. And it's going to have a lot to do with relationships, partnerships, agreements, where they're going to kind of come up and maybe need some adjusting, some changing, some letting go. We got to end this now. Now it's like I worked on it for 3 months. I did the work, and now no, that's not gonna work for me. Yeah, we tried.
Like, no longer serving me.
Yeah, we try. It's okay to do that. I hate when people say I can't be a quitter. It's like, you can quit wasting your time.
Right.
It's
right.
okay to be a quitter at that point. And so I think that's what a lot of us are going to see, whether it be romantic relationships, legal agreements, any of those kind of things. So then it makes me think about this stuff with Letitia James and with Donald Trump. Like the 25th is Monday. So that's an eclipse there. And y'all know what I think about Donald Trump's astrology, not the man.
Right.
His astrology is very fortunate. So we'll kind of see what happens.
Just how lucky he is.
And how he just kind of gets away with stuff. Like, it just,
like we called him Teflon Don.
Like, exactly. And then this is in Libra, and he's a Gemini. Those are both air signs. So it's actually a positive aspect for him. He's a Leo rising. The other part is in Aries, which is a fire sign. They get along very well. So he doesn't have any negative energy from this. So we'll see. I have not looked at Letitia James charts, because that's what you end up wanting to look at, what you're going up against. But anyways,
I wonder if she's a Gemini too. That would be very interesting.
That would be very interesting, because then it's a toss up every time with the Gemini. You just never know. It's heads or tails. They are literally
right.
So I think for this Aries season, it's just don't don't try to take action right now. Let's see what comes up. Let's see what blooms that we've been working on. If you haven't been working on anything, don't start now. We might as well wait till Taurus season at this point, because Aries season is not what it is. Also, Aries season is going to bring a really good energy for healing. This could be coming up with remedies and natural remedies to heal the body, to heal the mind, like what Aprylete is saying. Anything that has kind of been like a lingering pain, not just physical pain, even though Chiron, which is what's involved in this, can be physical pain. With all of this energy here, it's bringing like the information, or now you're like have an aha moment, or somebody shares information that offers some kind of healing. It makes me think, and I was thinking about this today too, when I kind of just told Aprylete when she was talking about her migraines, and then how I was just like, oh, we listen to the binaural beats and put on the diffuser. It could be something that just comes as simple as that offers a great deal of healing. So be receptive, be looking for that. This is not the time to really take action. On a bigger scale, I think people are going to be taking action. I think there's going to be more fighting, more arguing, more of that going on. That's why as individuals, I always say what's going on with them and then what we can do.
Yeah,
that's
and
why
keep peace here and away from all of that.
Right, exactly. So just see what happens. Let's just see what comes up. And then once we start really, probably more closer as we get to the end of April, then we'll be like, okay, I know what to do now. I'm ready to go now.
And Mercury in retrograde, that's a 30-day visit.
This is about 3 weeks. So and this is the thing, Mercury retrogrades every 3 months for about 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
And so this is, think about it. Mercury rules cars. How often we get our oil change, right? Every 3 months. This is just that same, let me check my own maintenance. Let me check, do I need to clear out anything? Do I need to redo anything? Do I need to have another conversation or reconsider a conversation that I already had, renegotiate, reorganize, all of that? That's what Mercury retrograde is all about. The planets want us to slow down and think about what we've been thinking about and talking about and listening to, and adjust as needed. Then move forward. We can't always be in go mode.
Yeah. There needs to be some time to sit back and reflect.
And reflect and adjust and pivot and do those kind of things that need to be done. And so that's what this time is all about. I think it's going to be good as long as we don't force anything, which could be hard for a lot of us because Aries is a forceful sign. So some of us are going to want to make things happen. We're going to want to see that now. I need it now. I need progress. What do I need to do? How do I need to do it? Because Aries wants to conquer and overcome. It's like, if you're going to probably have to redo it, or it's going to actually cause more damage and be the wrong thing to do if you do it really any time before. I would wait till Mercury's out of retrograde. I would kind of take April, like the rest of, really just April, as kind of a chill month. Like, okay, let me see what happens, and then we'll ramp it back up again in May.
Interesting. By the way, Letitia James is born October 18th, so that makes her a Libra, right?
A Libra. Ooh.
Okay.
Wow. I want to see the whole chart now. And the only reason that I say that is because it's the moon, which is like going to expose and reveal. So the sun, the moon in this, with it being the moon in Libra and her sun being in Libra, it's kind of this opposition. Like, are you really going to be able to pull this off? Are you really going to be able to do that? Because there's this balancing act here. So, and then also with the sun, with the south node is on her sun, this is actually the potential for her to, listen, you guys, look, she does this. Oh, she's on.
No, she's having technical issues.
I'm like, this is her every time. And this is just me as an astrologer, you guys. It feels like a part of this is about ego for her because her sun is in Libra and the south node is in Libra. And if it is about that, like, look what I can do, look what I did, that could be a detriment. That could be not a positive thing for her during this time. So just knowing just that one placement, it actually kind of makes me a little bit nervous for what Letitia James, even if it goes through Monday and nothing happens, I don't know that she's going to actually be able to take anything from Donald Trump.
And the truth is, he has until Monday to come up with somebody who is going to provide the cash for him, so that he can, And
I read he has a platform. I can't even think of the name of it now. Some kind of speak platform or something like that, where he's looking to make it go public or something like
Truth
that.
Social.
Truth Social. There it is.
Yeah,
There it is.
yeah. And
Yeah.
they're looking to sell it, and they think they can sell it for like billions of dollars.
I mean, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well,
That's a Gemini talking, so I don't know about that.
yeah, for whatever it's worth, what he places value on.
By something. Yeah. So I don't know. That's really interesting to see. So let's
Very
see.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about those famous Aries entertainers?
First up is Eddie Murphy.
Oh,
And one thing that I found very interesting when I was doing my research is it seemed like a lot of the Aries that were coming up this time have Scorpio moons. And so, and like with Eddie Murphy, they're very outgoing, but still very private and mysterious and just something you're just like, what is it that I don't know about you? You're keeping a secret. But I actually think looking at his chart, he's born April 3rd, 1961. And looking at his chart, he has the Sun and Venus in Aries. I feel like Eddie Murphy's in a really good place right now. He's feeling really good, maybe even getting more in touch spiritually in that kind of sense. So it just feels like it's a good time. I don't think we're going to get any more from him than we already got, maybe not any movies or anything like that. But it just feels like he's just in a good place when I look at this, and maybe even just spending a lot of time with his kids. Maybe especially during Aries season because he has that Mars and Cancer. And then I loved when I was doing it and seeing this, Tracy Chapman is an Aries.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense.
It makes so much sense, especially she's got Jupiter, Mars, and the Sun in Aries, and Aries is really getting a light shine on them right now. So of course she got highlighted. Yes, and she got brought out to sing. I think we'll hear more from her. I think she needed this. She's going through her Saturn return. She was born March 30th of 1964, and with that Saturn return, so this would be her third time Saturn coming back around. These are more lessons that she's learning. And with Saturn and Pisces, I think she's finally learning that after all this time, Saturn, I feel appreciated. Like I feel like my art is appreciated. So it felt really good to see this. I also think that with her having Venus and Taurus, she's probably going to get a nice little piece of money from streams and things like that.
Great.
And maybe even finding her way enjoying the earth. I feel like she's like an herbalist and we don't know about it. Because again, she has a Scorpio moon.
There's probably some herbs in there somewhere.
Well, you know, herbalist, it's all the same. It all comes from Earth. I think you'll like this one, Sybil. Miss Shaka Khan is an Aries, March 23rd. So her birthday is coming up on Saturday. 1953. And she's got the sun there and she's got the moon in Cancer. Does she have children?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just feels like that with her, this might be something where, again, spending a lot of time with her children. And then also maybe her health. She has Venus and Mars, both in Taurus. Jupiter is there right now. I feel like if I was her astrologer, I would kind of encourage her diet right now. Maybe she's already on that because Jupiter's been there for a while, but hopefully she's getting back to like the earthy foods, just kind of anything.
And she goes through periods like that. You can see her kind of ebb and flow. But it looks like this might be one of those times where she's doing that. Yeah.
And she's feeling really good about it. Yeah, especially at this age. Yeah. So
and in honor, I don't know if Yolanda even realized this today, but when we were doing yoga, it was all Shaka Khan today. And it was so incredibly wonderful.
Love that. Oh, before I forget, can I tell you that I went to go see Jacarius Johnson's Rick James, Super Freak, the Rick James stage play. You guys have to support him.
Myra J. really wants to see that when it comes to
very, very good. Stokely killed it as Rick James. They had Tina Marie, Prince, MC Hammer, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder made an appearance. It was really, 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 really.
They didn't have anybody on stage going like Charlie Murphy. That's Rick James, B.
Oh, he said it. He definitely says it. He says it. So you got to stay and listen for that part. I was fully engaged the entire show. It is long. It's like 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
But it's really good. It's all your favorite songs, plus Make-A-Wish songs.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. I love
it. It was really good. So I encourage everyone to go see that. And I was thinking, if we want to kind of not get sucked into AI, these are the kind of things that we have to support. Live performances,
That's
going to the theater, going to these live events, because you can't AI that. And it was absolutely worth it.
That is so cool. Thank you for that. I love that.
It was really good.
Theater report. Yes.
Yes. It was good. Yeah. Me and my mom, I try to just take her to do all the things.
Oh, nice.
She's down for everything. So I'm like, she's like,
I miss doing that with my mom. Yeah. We used to go to the theater a lot. Okay. So, if I'm not mistaken, because I watched The Voice, but I'm kind of in and out of it now, but I think Chance the Rapper. Is he an Aries?
Oh, I didn't see him on there, and I don't think that
Okay,
he
okay.
is. I know
I could be wrong. For
Pharrell
some
of the
reason,
Neptunes is, and he used to be on The Voice.
right.
Oh,
Pharrell Williams is an Aries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
There was a lot of great ones. Martin Lawrence is also an Aries. And when I was looking at that, he's got the Aries sun and the Scorpio moon too. And I'm like, and maybe that's why
Oh.
like him and Eddie Murphy were kind of doing so much at like the
Mhm.
same time
mhm.
because they have a lot of the same placements. But again, but he's got a little bit more Aries placement, so he's willing to pop out a little bit more and maybe still do a little bit more work. He's not going to be as private as Eddie Murphy.
But isn't it interesting? Their children are going to get married, or they did get married.
That is so cute.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're right there together. They have kids, and then their children.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because they both have some pretty similar placements as well. So it's like, yeah, y'all are kind of doing this parallel living.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
it's really
interesting.
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing the video. They were fighting over who's going to pay for the
Right,
wedding.
right. He's like, the father pays for the wedding.
Right.
Let us be clear, father of the bride. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then my last Aries that I have was Miss Jill Scott.
Oh,
And
Oh,
I love her too. I've seen her live as well. She is a great performer. I think that Jill Scott is actually doing a lot of healing as well. She's got the sun. She's got a Sagittarius moon. This is probably why she's so fun and like a lot, like over the top. Jilly from Philly. I think that with the sun being in Aries right now, she may be dealing with a physical condition that I don't know about or that we don't know about, but that she's actually positioning herself to heal from that and kind of overcome that position. I think Aries in general.
And
really
you think it's a physical?
I think for her, this is going to be more physical. It's conjunct her sun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that. I don't think for her, this is mental at all.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but good for her. I love Jill Scott.
I do
Yeah.
too. I do too.
We got some Aries in here. Happy birthday, Aries. Good for you.
All of them representing. Now, you didn't mention her, so, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but the boss, Miss Ross, I believe, is an Aries.
Diana Ross was in the play too, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she was.
So let me ask you this: as you're looking this up, do they have actors who are playing the characters?
Yes.
Oh, that is
yes.
so cool.
And for Tina Marie, and they had to sing. They did Fire and Desire.
Of course.
Wow.
Yes, they did. And they hit those notes.
Okay.
Oh,
wow.
Really, really good. Yeah. She's in the Aries also with the Taurus moon. Oh, this is really good for Miss Ross. I like this. I feel like her too, with this being her sixth house, that she's feeling really healthy, getting her health together, maybe changing her diet, that kind of thing, having a lot of fun with them grandkids and any kids or any children or family that she's having, probably really enjoying life. It's got a little bit of a diva chart, but I ain't mad at her. She's got Jupiter and Leo. I have it too. I can be a diva too.
So you understand.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm mad at her. I like these placements, okay?
That's funny. That is funny. Oh, thank you for sharing that. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but you got to ask about Miss Ross.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So any last words that you want to share? Because I'm really interested in this being the first sign of in starting the new season and with the solar eclipse and everything. Just a reminder to people to be careful if you're going out and you're going to participate in the solar eclipse. Perhaps you want to do it in a small group of people. And also Mercury will be in retrograde.
So remember, Mercury rules your cars, your everything that you use, like a day-to-day thing, your daily job, your daily travel, your commutes are probably going to be, you're going to see more fender benders or just regular breakdowns. Pack your patience, take some deep breaths, listen to meditation music. Because remember, Mercury's the mind. So you can't let your mind get so frustrated. Do like Yogi always has us doing, taking the breaths, listening to the right kind of music. If you know it's going to be a frustrating situation, maybe let's not listen to rap right now.
Nothing to get you fired up like that.
Right.
So that's the best way, because Mercury is in the mind. So those things do give yourself extra time. Check your tires before you go. Don't get frustrated if if it goes low. Yeah. That's what's going to happen right now. Mercury wants you to slow down and double check everything.
Just take your time and be aware.
Yeah, be aware. I think really for the whole month of April, like, let's just see what happens. Let's just take our time. Let's just see what comes up. And then we'll be ready to pivot once Taurus season gets here. I think May is our break month. For most of us, we've been working hard, right? January, February, March. Okay, let's take a little break right now. See how we need to pivot, what we need to get rid of, adjust, and then we'll pick it back up May 1st.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And oftentimes, and not necessarily here in Texas, but oftentimes spring break is in April, and that's when
Right.
people, that's
Right.
as my mom used to call it, cleanup week. They used to call it,
Cleanup.
and it was just,
Right.
you
In
know,
preparation for spring.
they
Yeah.
didn't
Spring
know from
cleaning.
spring vacation, but it was a week to, clean out and get, do all your spring cleaning and what have
Mhm.
you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Good time for that.
Absolutely. All right, so let's move to trending topics. And you gave us a piece of information before we started the show, and I'm very fascinated by this as someone who likes a good glass of wine or a hefty IPA. You started your abstinence of
Yep.
liquor abstinence journey,
Yes.
and you started it in December.
In December. So I
Mhm.
know myself, and I know that winter is my least favorite time of the year. I have a lot of fire in my chart, and winter is the only time when the sun doesn't transit a fire sign. I deal with seasonal depression. I deal with a lot of sadness. I tend to gain weight in the winter. And I can't be someone that's like telling people what to do according to astrology and not at least trying to implement it myself. So I said I just was going to take really good care of myself this winter so that I could put as much effort as possible. And I have to be honest, I was a little bit spinning out of control because I had some family dynamics that are emotionally bothering me and I'm dealing with. And so honestly, it started with therapy. Once I got in, it's like she started holding me accountable. I have an amazing therapist. Started holding me accountable, asking me the questions, like really just challenging me and making me think about my actions and my consequences. And then this led me to say, I want to give up alcohol for winter because this is only going to go down from here. I'm not doing better. I'm just, all of it's coming up now. And if I continue to drink, plus it's cold, I'm not getting the sun, all of this, like, I don't know what's going to happen. So I stopped drinking. My last drink was December 21st at a Christmas party. And I have not put one drop of alcohol in my body since then. Still celebrating birthdays, still went to the rodeo, still ate at the bar at Papados today. And I know. And
how do you go to a place where fun meets festive and you don't have
a cocktail in hand?
One of their famous.
I know, right? Well, come to find out, the bartenders will make you a mocktail. They'll put you a club soda with a lime in a cocktail glass. They'll accommodate you. There's a lot of restaurants have mocktails on the menu. And I actually am still a good time without alcohol. I actually remember.
If you do say so yourself.
Yeah, I was like, come to find out, I'm actually fun.
You're a vibe without all of that. Did you use like an app to keep track, or were you keeping track on your calendar, or what? How do you?
No, I just knew the day that the last drink that I had, and I said, I can do this. And then I started to say, well, dang, if I could do this, I could do anything. Like, I can do anything, because I have to be honest, I can't tell you when the last time I went a week without a drink.
Turkey. Yeah.
I mean, I know where and I was at the bar. I remember I was not drinking. This is like week one. And I want to go to my favorite spot because they still have great food there. And I'm stressing in the parking lot. Like, okay, God, what am I going to tell my favorite bartender who always overpours and this and that? I'm like stressed out. Okay, but that's okay. I can do this. I can do this. I walk in and the first thing he says is, hey, are you doing dry January? And I said, actually, I am. He goes, me too. I'm going to make you a club soda with lime. You won't even know. Just drink it regular. I was like, oh my God.
Nice.
Thank you, God. I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right thing.
Right.
And I feel really, really good. I have a lot more energy.
Your energy is like off the charts.
I didn't need any help with that.
Right.
Yes, I have a lot more energy, sleeping a lot better. And one thing and I've always been someone that works out, but I'm working out more now, but the weight just like melted off. I didn't even know I needed to lose weight, but now it's just easily just staying right within like a 2-pound difference.
Love that.
And it's just really good. So
where could you possibly lose 8 pounds?
Girl, my stomach. I wish I could have put it all in my butt. Yeah, God knew where not to put no weight on me. Okay.
I heard that.
That's funny.
But it's really helped. And then I just feel a lot better. I really did. I really did.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Janet Ferguson said, I used to date an Aries. Not again. They're mean as hell. They can be. I love Aries though, but I like fire signs. I'm not scared of them.
Right. But they say that about Leos. We're not mean. We're just very direct and
Mean old lions.
I love y'all. I'm like,
so another thing that has affected you, because in your day life,
yes,
you are a real estate agent
for 8 years. Yep.
Okay. So and you're big in the business, and this came down, and I heard about it. I was like, got to ask her about this week. The Realtors Association settled lawsuits, which will change the way we pay for homes.
This is right. And this is why I even asked to talk to everyone about this, because home ownership is so important. And this is just a misconception. So what the National Association of Real Estate Agents, they were sued by a group of sellers who said that they were basically under the impression that they could not negotiate commissions. The commissions were set and that they had to pay the buyer's agent. And because that's what has been the norm in the industry. And that's just how it's been. Well, also what it was is in our multiple listing system where the houses are and the real estate agents work, it would show what our commission was. We knew off the top what the seller was paying. The problem with that is commissions have always been negotiable. Everything in real estate is negotiable.
Right.
So putting 3% that I'm going to make 3% in the multiple listing system takes away the negotiation. So now
and it's your money.
And so now what the National Association of Realtors is saying is you have to negotiate. You cannot just put it on the MLS, and the seller does not have to pay the commission. Now, it's been customary.
But doesn't that affect how hard the realtor is going to work for you to sell your house?
Well, here's what happens. Typically, this is what happens now. The seller pays 6% to the listing broker.
Okay.
The listing broker pays their agent. That agent then splits that 6% and gives 3 to whoever brings the buyer. So now what it is the agent will say, or the seller will say, I don't want to pay the buyer's agent. I'll pay you 3%. Now the buyer has to pay their own real estate agent or go unrepresented.
Wow.
So this is what makes it tricky. Now, as a realtor,
and how can I? Oh, go ahead.
No. Ask the question.
No, go ahead with what makes it tricky, and then I'll ask.
Well, what makes it tricky is that buyers are already bringing 5% minimum to closing, and now we want them to add another 3%. Are we going to be able to finance this into the loan? Are we going to still be able to get seller concessions? But what my realtor group and what we tend to think is that sellers are still going to actually pay the commission. They still want to sell the house. You cannot sell a house without a buyer. And now as a buyer's agent, if I'm representing the buyer and I have to negotiate my commission, I'm going to do that before I even take the buyer to see this house. And if your seller is not paying me, I'm going to tell my buyer that they're going to be on the hook for the 3%. And then they get to make the decision. Do they want to see that house? Do they want to roll it in? What do they want to do? Wow. It's just making more negotiations because the way that it was set up made it appear as if there was no room to negotiate. And that's just not true.
Wow. And it kind of empowers people. Just that knowledge really empowers people.
Right. I still strongly encourage sellers to consider contributing to the buyer's agent simply because it's like,
what if it's the same person? That's what I was going to ask.
No, I would never. My brokerage doesn't allow it. It's a conflict of interest. Some can do it, but the problem is you can't give an opinion to either party. It's called a dual agency. You can't give an opinion. You just have to state facts. Well, I'm not good at that. I need to give my opinion as much as possible.
Because that's what happened.
I just need to represent one side.
That's what happened to me with the last house. Not this house, but the last house I bought. The woman that was representing the seller also ended up representing me, and I thought she was wonderful. I had no issues with it, and I thought she was fairer to me than she was to the seller.
It's really a nice fair transaction, though.
Yeah,
especially if it's like a booming economy, like in that kind of thing. Houses staying on the market no more than 45, 60 days, then it probably was really nice and fair. But it's kind of the same scenario as if you get in a car accident and the same attorney that represents the person that hit you represents you too.
Right.
So that could be a conflict of interest. This is why typically there's, a buyer has their own agent. Even if so I've had listings where buyers come in and I will still refer them to another agent in my brokerage and get a little bit extra that way, but not take the whole 6%. It's not fair.
Yeah.
So this just offers negotiations. And I just think that that's what the public needs to be aware of, that everything is negotiable in real estate. Negotiate it all. If you want people's curtains, you can ask for it.
Right.
I've seen deals where people got the
that's what they always say on Lotto Dream House. It's like
ask for it.
Everything is negotiable.
Everything is negotiable, including how much you pay in commissions to a buyer or a seller agent.
Yeah, they just like, well, can we keep the furniture or something like that? But thinking
it's all negotiable.
Yeah.
All of it is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very cool. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate
You're welcome.
That. So an estimated 78,000 teachers, firefighters, and nurses are among the group of borrowers who will see their debts canceled under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. This wave of relief brings the Biden administration's total loan forgiveness to $144 billion with a B dollars for approximately 4 billion borrowers. Just a month ago, the president announced that he would forgive $1.2 billion for 150,000 borrowers eligible for a special benefit in the new affordable repayment plan that his administration developed. So that's really cool because you think about people who are real public servants. And I was a daughter of public servants. My mom was a Chicago public school teacher. My dad was a Chicago fireman. And they didn't have those things at the time. Right. But you think about how they are working and not being paid what they're worth in most cases. And now their debts are being forgiven by the government. That's really powerful and helping the people who help us.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and I can tell you student loan debt was one of the hardest things for me to overcome with buyers in real estate.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's such a large number. And even if it's deferred, they want to include it in your payments. A lot of people couldn't afford a student loan and a house and a car, like the basic stuff. So this is really, really good.
This is really important. And it's not so much now that you go work in an impoverished area or of the country or the world in order to have your debts forgiven. Even veterans were supposed to have, or soldiers were supposed to have a lot of their debts forgiven. And that program was just a mess. And they've gone in and they've improved that now. And it was a story on 60 Minutes a while ago. But this is an opportunity for people who are and I trust this as someone who knows, been the child and seen how difficult this work can be. They're doing God's work. And, in educating your children, saving your homes from fires, or saving you from violence and things like that. Not all teachers, not all firefighters, not all policemen are great. Not all of them are even good. Right. But the vast majority are. And the fact that the president has this program, which is going to help people get out of debt, improve their lives, and help their children and the next generations.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing. When I was reading up on this for tonight, I saw that a lot of seniors have student loan debt and are in something like 60% are defaulted as well. So this could be a lot of relief for them as well.
Yeah.
And if they default on their student loan debt, they take a percentage of their Social Security.
Yes. And they don't mind doing that at all. It's like, and I have a friend who took over his son's debt and his student loan debt. And I'm like, at some point, Sonny Boy's gotta, take over his own.
Buckle up, okay.
But and with a diminished income after retirement and things like that, he and his wife were feeling the pinch. But and it has worked out. But it was a big chunk of their monthly income that they were losing because they had taken on their son, and he was a very smart, very successful man. But they, we encouraged him to go to school, and he's getting started, and so we're going to help him as much and as long as you can.
Nikki J said, I teach third grade and will now purchase my first home debt free. Congratulations.
Nikki.
As a teacher, there are a lot of programs for teachers, Nikki. Make sure you ask your lender about any kind of programs they have for down payment assistance and all kind of grant programs and all things like that for teachers.
They don't have that for radio people, do they?
No,
They don't have
honey,
programs.
we don't have Leos either. Maybe I wish you could get it just for being a Leo.
Okay. So, is that like unusual, that profession, or are there other professions where they have those?
It's first responders, it's teachers and first responders. So there's first responder programs and there's teacher programs as well for down payment assistance. Absolutely.
Oh, but Nikki, I'm so happy for you.
Yes, congratulations, Nikki. That's really, really good. And being a third grade teacher, I love that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, some of my favorite people are teachers. So that's awesome. And thank you for sharing that with us too. You just never know where you're going to get all this great information. So I also want to talk to you. This is wash your produce season, and now it's become more than a season. Wash your produce.
Yes, that's good.
You know, people who go to the store, they just kind of eat. Let me tell you this story. I'm gonna get to the wash your produce. I was standing in Tom Thumb. That was a few weeks back, and I was standing there. I was looking at buying some fresh bread or croissants or something like that. And this man just reached in, but he didn't just reach in. He put the plastic glove on. He took the tongs and he grabbed a bagel. He put the bagel in the free hand. He took off the gloves, put the tongs back, and just started eating the bagel. And I was like, and I'm looking for cameras. I'm looking for people in the store to see this. And then he didn't even finish it. He's like, yeah. And he tossed it.
He said he had to try it before he bought it. He
didn't even buy it, Aprylete. He was just like, I needed a little nosh.
Walking around, just a little snack.
Oh my gosh, he's so
and I just looked, and he never looked my way. Maybe
that's hilarious.
Really little beady eyes on him. But nobody said anything. I didn't see, like I said, I didn't see any cameras or anything. It was like,
he's used to doing that. Nobody ever says anything.
Sure.
It's kind of an empowerment that men of that melanin
demographic
have.
Yes, right.
You know, and
that's hilarious.
Things. Yeah. Okay, so this is wash your produce season. The Dirty Dozen list, the 12 most contaminated samples.
Yes, tell them. Let's hear.
Because 95% of non-organic strawberries, leafy greens such as spinach, kale, collard, and mustard greens, grapes, peaches, and pears tested by the government contain detectable levels of pesticides. That's why you get organics, because you don't want them to have pesticides, right? 95% of them have some detectable levels of pesticides, and it's been linked to preterm births, congenital malformations, spontaneous abortions, an increase in genetic damage in humans. Exposure to pesticides has also been associated, and men will appreciate this, low sperm concentrations, heart disease, cancer, and other disorders. You know, those pesticides that they say gardeners and everything use, and they've taken them to court because of the horrible levels of cancer that they have detected in their bodies. This is the same for people with, if you don't clean your fruit.
Well, I read that article too, and I think it more so leans into buying organic, because there was a part of it that
but it says 95% of those have.
Even the organic ones, I thought that part said the non-organic.
No.
And then they were saying that one, like the USDA cuts it and washes it and peels it and then tests it, and it's still. So it's like you say wash it, but I don't know.
Well, what are we going to do? Are we just going to take tablets now to get our fruit and vegetables? Or are we going to, I mean, there's nothing like a good apple. There's nothing like, you know, a fresh orange. But all of it is not bad. They say the avocados, sweet corn, which I don't believe about sweet corn.
Right. That's
pineapples, onions,
watermelon.
Papayas, and watermelon.
My favorite.
Yeah, mine too.
That's all I care about.
Those are the clean 15. They're part of the clean 15 list of conventionally grown produce with the least amount of trace of pesticides. Nearly 65% of fruits and veggies that are part of this. And they say that frozen sweet peas, asparagus, honeydew melons, kiwis, cabbage, watermelons, mushrooms, mangoes, love them, sweet potatoes, and carrots are also a part of the sweet 15.
Okay.
But
I wonder about frozen, like on the strawberries. I wonder about frozen strawberries. Are those better?
Well, it only says about the frozen sweet peas, but I would imagine the frozen. I'm hoping,
because you can't rinse your frozen fruit like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, if you let it thaw and then you put it in, put it in some joy.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to eat it.
Okay.
I know since the organic prices are expensive, I get it. In my mind, I rationalize it by saying either I'm going to pay for it now with my food or pay for it later with my medicine
Yeah.
or with the way my body feels.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just going
even
to have
with
to budget.
organic, are you saying, Mrs. Charlie, that you don't wash your organic fruit?
Oh
Or
yes, I do absolutely.
Oh,
And
okay.
I use Castile soap, Dr. Bonner's.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love that soap. I have one in my
Mhm.
shower and one under my sink for
Absolutely.
my fruit. I love that soap.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I use that. No, I definitely do. But when I was reading the article, it was
Mhm.
just some other stuff that was in there. So
I'm
I'm
just going to give you a quick fact about entertainment. The iHeart 2024 Music Awards will air live April 1st from the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, and it'll be on Fox. Luda will
man, so
host and
underrated.
perform at the live award show. Beyonce is set to receive the Innovator Award at this year's show to celebrate her influence on pop culture, including country music, her various creative risks throughout her career, and her ability to successfully transform her music. The 32-time Grammy winner's honor will take place 2 days after her upcoming ninth studio album, which of course is Act Two, Cowboy Carter. The 42-year-old singer announced that she is dropping the album during the Super Bowl. You know, Luda was also performing at the Super Bowl with Usher, so they're coming back together for the iHeart. And congratulations, Beyonce. I'm just really
I
happy.
love
Very
Ludacris.
nice.
Yeah, your H-Town girl. There you go.
Yes.
Um, Closing out with our jewel for the day. It's been about health this week, and a reminder: next Thursday we're going to have a special show on the Life's Essential 8, which we've been talking about every day in the newsletter. And we're going to have a representative from the American Heart Association, as well as my friend Guy Torrey, who is actually going through these physical changes and taking a lot of these tips to heed. And so he's a great person to rope into this and to bring into it. So we're going to be here talking about Life's Essential 8 next Thursday at this time. So remember that a reminder from Yogi's Jewel, regular exercise and a balanced diet are key components of good health.
Yes.
Regular and trust and believe that yoga is no joke.
It's it's one of my favorites to go on like dates with guys that are so strong. I'm like, well, let me see you do this.
Right. Yeah. You see how pliable and stretchable you are. Yeah,
Right.
you're like,
It's
ooh, that.
fun. It's
Yeah.
always fun.
But yeah, it is a great exercise. So now let me go find something healthy to eat that I don't have to wash off.
Yeah.
So thank you, ladies. I so appreciate it. Ms. Astrology, as always.
Thank you so much. Have a
stay
happy
well.
spring, happy Aries season.
And I'll let you know what we end up doing on April 8th for the
Yes,
solar
small
eclipse.
groups. Small
Okay.
groups.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Hello.